What if I told you that the harder you try to be happy, the more miserable you become?
Huh?
That every productivity hack you've ever tried has made you more anxious and not less? Or what about that the entire self help industry is built on a fundamental lie? The lie is this: that you're broken and need fixing. That happiness is something you achieve through the right combination of morning routines, mindset shifts, and manifestation techniques. But here's what they don't tell you: the very act of trying to optimize yourself creates the problem you're trying to solve. This is what Alan Watts called the backward law: the idea that the more you pursue something, the more it eludes you. Today, we're going to expose this lie and show you the ancient wisdom that dissolves the need for endless self improvement. The modern self help industry operates on a simple premise: input effort, output happiness. Follow the morning routine, get the perfect life. Practice gratitude, manifest abundance. It's the vending machine approach to human fulfillment. But think about what this actually creates in your daily experience. You wake up and immediately start performing. Meditation becomes another task to optimize your life. Exercise becomes data to track. Even your relationships become projects to improve on. You're not living your life anymore. You're just managing it. Consider the productivity obsession. People spend hours learning systems to save minutes. They color code their calendars, gamify their habits, and turn their phones into command centers for self-optimization. But what's the result? More anxiety, and not less. Because now you're just responsible for doing more things. You're responsible for doing them perfectly, efficiently, and with the right mindset. The manifestation culture takes this even further. It promises you can think your way to wealth, visualize your way to love, affirm your way to success. This is a complete misunderstanding of what the Hermetic principle of mentalism actually teaches. True mentalism isn't about controlling external reality with your thoughts. It's about recognizing that your inner state determines your experience of reality. When you try to manifest a specific outcome, you're operating from a place of lack. You're saying, I don't have this thing, so I need to get it. But the very energy of needing pushes away what you're trying to attract. It's like trying to catch your own shadow, right? You watch a manifestation video and they even try to address this, push that to the side. You're just trying to manifest and do this, right? Push it away so that you can actually attract. But what's your whole basis for trying to manifest? It's because you want something you don't have. Trying to push away the fact that you're not desiring it is still a desire, right? So the deeper problem is that this entire approach treats you as a machine that needs upgrading, rather than a human being that needs understanding. It assumes the problem is in your habits, your thoughts, your behaviors. But what if the problem is in the assumption that there's a problem to solve? Every technique promises to fix your anxiety, but anxiety isn't actually the problem. The problem is your relationship with anxiety. Every method claims to boost your confidence, but low confidence isn't your issue. The issue is believing you need more confidence to be worthy of love and success. This is why people can read hundreds of self-help books and they still feel empty. They're addressing symptoms while feeding the disease. Remember, what you're doing is telling yourself, I need fixing. This is going to fix me. I'm going to read this book to fix me. That's how we're feeding the disease. And this disease is the belief that we're separate. The belief that you're separate from happiness, separate from peace, separate from the life you want. Every technique that promises to bridge the gap just reinforces that there is one. The vending machine mentality keeps you trapped in an endless cycle. You try a technique, get temporary relief, then need another technique when the relief fades. You're not healing, you're just managing symptoms while the underlying pattern continues. But what if I told you there's another way? A way that doesn't require you to fix yourself because it recognizes you were never broken in the first place. Alan Watts understood something that modern self-help completely misses. He called it the backward law. The idea that the more you pursue something, the more it eludes you. The harder you try to be spontaneous, the more forced you become. Just like the manifesting example. The more I try to say I'm attracting things, I'm just reinforcing the fact I don't have it. The more you chase happiness, the more you feel miserable because you're reinforcing that you're not happy right now. Think about it in your own life. When you can't fall asleep, what happens when you try to sleep? You become more awake. When you're trying to remember someone's name and you focus intensely on it, it disappears. But the moment you go off and go do something else, it pops into your mind effortlessly. This isn't just a quirk of human psychology, it's pointing to something fundamental about how life actually works. The universe operates on principles of flow, not force. Water doesn't struggle to find the ocean, it simply follows the path of least resistance. Plants don't strain to grow toward the sun, they naturally turn toward it. But we've been conditioned to believe that everything worthwhile requires struggle, that if you're not grinding, you're not growing. The gym culture exemplifies this perfectly. People force themselves through brutal workouts, believing that more pain equals more gain. They track every rep, measure every macro, optimize every variable, but what happens? They burn out, get injured, or develop an unhealthy relationship with their bodies. The ancient Taoists had a different approach. They called it Wu Wei, effortless action. Not inaction, but action that flows from understanding rather than forcing. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you're tense, gripping the handlebars, fighting for balance. But once you understand the principle, riding becomes effortless. You're not trying to balance, you are balance. Consider dating and relationships. The people who are most desperate for love often repel it. They try too hard, analyze every interaction, strategize their way to connections. But love doesn't respond to strategy. When have you ever fell in love with somebody because you planned to? It responds to authenticity, spontaneity. The moment you stop performing and start being, you become magnetic. This is why manifestation techniques often backfire. When you're visualizing your dream life, you're actually reinforcing the gap between where you are and what you want to be. You're operating from lack, trying to think your way into abundance. But abundance isn't something you achieve, it's something you recognize was always there. The backwards law reveals why positive thinking can make you more negative. When you're forcing gratitude, you're resisting your actual experience. When you're affirming abundance while feeling poor, you're creating internal conflict. The mind knows when you're lying to it. That's why these things don't work and problems still persist. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment you stop trying to control your thoughts and just observe them, they begin to settle naturally. It's like muddy water. The harder you stir it, the cloudier it becomes. Because if you just leave it alone, it will clear by itself. This principle applies to everything. The more you chase success, the more it slips away, because you're operating from desperation rather than confidence. The more you try to be confident, the more insecure you become, because you're reinforcing the fact that you aren't confident right now. That's what the lie of all of this is. You keep going after something, telling yourself you don't have it. Wu Wei doesn't mean being passive, it means acting from a place of understanding rather than striving. It's the difference between swimming upstream and flowing with the current. Both involve movement, but one creates struggle and the other creates grace. So what's our alternative? How do you live with the constant need to improve, optimize, and fix yourself? The answer lies in shifting from goal-based striving to acceptance-based awareness. Instead of asking, how can I be happier? Ask, what is my actual experience right now? Instead of trying to fix your anxiety, become curious about it. What does it feel like in your body? What thoughts come with it? What's it trying to tell me? This isn't about positive thinking or reframing. It's about radical acceptance of what is. The Stoics understood this principle. They distinguish between what's within your control and what isn't. Your thoughts, reactions, and responses are within your control. Everything else isn't. But even this can become another form of optimization if you're not careful. The goal isn't to control your thoughts perfectly, it's to understand your relationship with them. When you observe your mind without trying to change it, something remarkable happens. The thoughts lose their grip on you. In the same way, when you lay down and watch the clouds, that's how you need to watch your thoughts. They're coming in through one ear and out the other. They're just moving by, right? If you were actually in control of your thoughts, you'd be able to tell me what your next thought's going to be, but you can't. They are like clouds going from left to right in your brain. You cannot predict them, you can just watch them. If you attach onto them, they will stay. Let them be like clouds. Here's a simple Wu Wei experiment for your daily life. For 1 week, stop trying to be productive. Instead, Notice what naturally wants to be done. Follow your energy rather than your schedule. You might be surprised to discover that you accomplish more with less effort when you're aligned with your natural rhythms. Another experiment: stop trying to be a good person. Instead, notice when you're being authentic versus when you're performing. Goodness isn't something you achieve through effort, it's something that emerges naturally when you're not defending a false image of yourself. The shift from fixing yourself to understanding yourself changes everything. When you're trying to fix yourself, you're operating from the assumption that something is wrong. But when you're understanding yourself, you're approaching your experience with curiosity and compassion. This dissolves the need for endless self-improvement because you realize there was never anything to improve. You're not a project to be completed, you're a process to be experienced. The goal isn't to become somebody else, somebody new. It's to discover who you actually are beneath all the layers of conditioning and self-improvement. The irony is that when you stop trying to change, change happens naturally. When you stop forcing growth, you begin to grow. When you stop pursuing happiness, you discover the peace that was always there, waiting beneath the noise of constant striving. That's what this has always been about. Just stop trying to achieve things. I'm not saying to give up on your goals and to just lay there and wallow. I'm just saying to disconnect from the improvement. Just start being. Start living. Start paying attention to everything that's around you. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own head. That's when you become attractive. That's when things come to you. That's when you start living the life of your dreams. You just need to stop forcing it. Stop acting from a place of lack. Back to that manifestation example, if I'm going to do this whole practice of manifesting, it's because I believe there's a lack of. And I can't push that to the side. I can't pretend that's not the reason for it. That's what they try to tell you to do. Push it away so that you can become attractive, an attractive energy. How? I'm forcing it to the side because I want something I don't have. That's what you need to break. You break that, you start living, you know what it is you want, but you're not focused on it. You're not desperate for it. You're doing your thing in the moment. And that's when opportunities arise. That's when your dream life starts to happen. And that's when you start making moves toward your future. The lie at the heart of self-help is that you need fixing, but you were never broken. The path forward isn't more optimization. It's understanding the futility of optimization itself. Which idea challenges you the most? Share your thoughts below. A like would be greatly appreciated, and subscribe for more. And remember, stay curious, stay awake, and stay free. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Esoteric Mind. Love you guys, and peace.